Hello, brothers and sisters. Today is October 12th, 2017. And I know for many of you, this may be the last day or the eighth day of the Feast of Tabernacles. And for some of you, you may have already concluded that, like myself. Now, I symbolically celebrated the Feast of Tabernacles by constructing a tent, or I call my sukkah, in my living room because I had prayed about it and the Lord didn't give me the impression that I should try to go anywhere this year. So I symbolically built a sukkah inside of my house. And it worked out well. I had quite a time building it and so forth. And it was a real blessing. And I spent a lot of time studying about and learning about the deeper meanings of the Feast of Tabernacle. I know that Yahushua was there with me all the time because I felt his presence every day. But there was a funny thing that happened during the feast that during those 8 days that I wanted to share with you. Now I know for sure that Yahushua gave me several dreams during the feast. But the thing about it, he did not allow me to remember any of them. But he had already given me a dream to let me know that I wasn't going to be able to remember the dreams. In fact, I woke up one night and I was all excited about a beautiful dream that he had given me concerning Israel, my people. So I grabbed my bedside recorder and I spoke the date and I spoke the time and was getting ready to tell the dream that all of a sudden I went blank. I mean, I could not remember one thing about the dream. And when I was grabbing the recorder, it was just clear as day what it was. And even now, I don't remember what the dream was about. I know it was a good dream. I know it was a positive dream because I had been praying and fasting concerning Israel. So I know it was a great dream, but I didn't remember any of it. And from then on, every night, I knew that I would have a dream, and I knew in just what the dream was about, not in just, but just vaguely. Like for example, I dreamed about uh, the Revelation 12 sign, and I know that kept coming back, and I'm saying, but I don't remember any details of what I dreamed. Now I know it could be that sometime in the future he may decide to allow me to remember the dream because I know my spirit knows, but my flesh is what's ignorant in this case, and that was by his choice. And I remember thinking, well, maybe he's not allowing me to remember these dreams because I talk too much. Maybe he didn't want me to tell any secrets or anything that he's given me, so he's blocked. Maybe he's blocked that so that I couldn't share. But either way, if that's the case, then he will give me what he wants to share with me when it's time, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. But then I also thought about maybe it's just the opposite. Maybe he's not allowing me to remember these things because maybe he has given me dreams that he wanted me to share that I didn't share, because I do know that he has given me several dreams. Some of them I felt that they were personal, and that may be the reason that I didn't share, but maybe I thought I was going to be persecuted, and maybe that was another reason why I didn't share some of them. But well, I celebrated the Feast of Tabernacle, and my eighth day was on Wednesday. But guess what? Last night I had a dream, and I was able to remember the dream. So I took that to mean that I can now share the dream that he gave me last night, and that's what I want to do today. But before I share that dream. I want to share a dream that he gave me back in March of 2015. In fact, I went back and looked it up because this dream came to mind. I had this dream on March 9th, 2015. Now, at that time, I felt it was a personal dream, so I did not post the dream in March. But in May, he gave me a word. He spoke to my spirit, and he said, I gave you a dream to tell. And I knew exactly what he meant. He had given me this dream, and he wanted me to share it, but I had chosen not to share it because I thought it was personal. And the dream was about Ben Affleck. Now, Ben Affleck. Now, at that time, I didn't know anything about Ben Affleck. Still don't know much about it. But the thing about it, just yesterday, I noticed that Ben Affleck, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, is in the news. He's in the news. And there's a lot of talk about Ben Affleck. And my dream that he wanted me to share was about Ben Affleck. So I knew that there is a connection here. And maybe that whole thing about not allowing me to remember the dream, maybe that's just to spur me off, to let me know that I need to go ahead and share this dream again. Because the dream that he gave me about Ben Affleck was about Ben being in the news. And Ben Affleck is in the news right now. So let me just go ahead and tell you the dream, and then I'll give you a little bit more detail as to what I think it means. So in my dream, this dream happened on March 9th, 2015. Ben Affleck was in the news and being interviewed by some man, which I didn't recognize, the newscaster. And I really didn't recognize Ben Affleck because he was sitting on the stage being interviewed and his back was toward me. But the guy mentioned his name, so I knew it must have been Ben Affleck because he called him. And he said that Ben Affleck had found somebody that he wanted to marry. And this person that he found was very special. And he even used the term, Ben used the term, that she is wonderful and different. Even though I did not know Ben Affleck or anything about him, in the dream, I knew Ben was talking about me. And I'm saying, I don't know Ben Affleck. So I'm thinking in the dream, why would he be talking about me? But yet in the dream, he was saying that he had found this wonderful and special person and he was going to marry her. And that's what he was talking about. And I'm saying, what does wonderful and different or special, what does that mean? And then I woke up out of the dream. And when I woke up, I felt the presence of Yahushua in my room. And I looked around my room and I saw all these words on the ceiling, on the wall. I love you. I love you. And other very, very warm and enduring phrases written on my wall. And I just kind of smiled and I just, it really made me feel good. And I just smiled and, turned over and went back to sleep. And so I went back to sleep and I had another dream. But that particular dream, I don't remember anything of it. And so I know he can give me a dream and take it away whenever he please. So I don't remember the dream, but as I woke up from the dream, I heard in my spirit, I am coming for you this weekend. And as I'm pondering this thought, all of a sudden I found myself looking into the presence or into the face. There was no face, it was just energy of this force that stood there right in front of me. And it was just funny. It just made me laugh. And I just felt so tickled. It was just funny. So he was like, it was him I know in spirit, and he was making me laugh. And all of a sudden, this energy just dispersed all over my body with like uh, glittering little stars. They just blanket my whole body. And I just felt really warm. And then he disappeared. Then it disappeared. And I'm laying there with this happy, smiley face, just feeling joyful and thinking, I'm coming for you this weekend. And so I had no idea what that meant. So of course, immediately I'm thinking, weekend, that means this Saturday and Sunday. I'm coming for you this weekend. Well, of course, it didn't happen that Saturday and Sunday. But before even I started looking for that weekend, I knew to start research of what is a week in Hebrew language. So I really started searching out the term week. And I found out that in the Bible, there are at least 4 different types of week. You have the regular 7-day week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's a week. And then you have a week of days, which is 49 days, and the 50th day would be the Pentecost. We call that Pentecost. And then you have a 7-year week, and we call that a sabbatical week. And then you have a 7 times 7 years, or 49 years, or we call the 50th day of that week, we call that the Jubilee. So now I have 4 different times that I need to consider, because which one is he talking about? Was he talking about the Shavuot or the Pentecost that was coming up? Was he talking about the sabbatical year that was coming up? Or was he talking about the Jubilee? So I didn't know. But I do know that Ben Affleck had something to do with it. So when I saw Ben Affleck was in the news yesterday, my heart became all excited. I said, oh, wow, Ben Affleck is now in the news. And I don't believe there's any reason why he would use Ben Affleck except to point me to the time that we are in. We are in the end of the Jubilee year. Now, as I have made a post, I definitely believe that we are 1 month off. So this, even if it did not end until the 7th month, the true 7th month is something that that Yahushua revealed to me a while back, I believe, is that we are 30 days off. We're already 30 days off. So which means the 7th month doesn't really start until around October 20th or 21. So that would be the true 7th month. And so when I heard that in the news, I said, wow, this is all coming together. So that means that he could definitely be saying that he's coming for me at this weekend, which could take us, for another month. Because now I'm not sure about this, but I believe that the Hebrew year actually starts at Nisan, so it's going to end at the month before Nisan. So that means that we really have all the way up to Adar, which would be the 12th Hebrew month. So we still got another 5.5 months to go before this Jubilee is over. So, and then as I think about the dream, the fact that Ben is talking about finding a wife lets me know that that Yahushua gave me this dream, and he's talking about the Lamb who's finding a wife. So that he included that in the dream to point me to the time, and what the time concerns with. It's concerned with him actually finding his wife. So I have I think I've received some very compelling dreams over the last few weeks that I didn't mention because I thought they were personal. Then I'm just going to mention a few of those because I think they just kind of play into this, that we're really, really getting ready to go into some very, very serious time. He could definitely come and make an appearance very, very soon because we do know that we're at the end of the Jubilee year. Will it be a rapture? Will it be an exodus? When I say rapture, I mean an escape. I don't mean flying up in the sky, but some people could die. But I'm saying that this is a time I believe that we're going to have a visitation from him. And a couple of things that that he said to me that I never shared. He gave me a dream on September 21st, which would be what we're celebrating as the Feast of Trumpets. But really, the true Feast of Trumpet is still going to be around October 21st. But he gave me a dream where he was actually putting on a warrior outfit. And also, the dream that I had last night is concerning with that. And I'm going to talk about that, uh, those two dreams toward the end. Now, I guess probably, one of the things that, caused me to hesitate about sharing some of the personal dreams because I do know that, it makes a lot of people angry when when I say things like, I have been told by Yahushua that I have been chosen to be his queen. And these are the kinds of dreams that and things that he shows me uh, that I consider personal. For example, I got two dreams where he wrote on my wall and put this beautiful crown, "You are my queen." He he has written on my wall, "You are my Eve." He has written on my wall, as I said, he has called me Eve. He actually writes on my wall or in the air every day. I have not missed a day. He writes on there, "I love you," or some other words of endearment. And I definitely don't minimize those things. To me, I just don't share them with people because I'm not sure that most people want to hear about that. In fact, I don't think they do. I think a lot of people get jealous or they say that, that I've lost my mind. So he even wrote this wasn't a dream. He actually came. It wasn't him, but it was an angel. I saw this huge angel, and he said, "You are favored above all women." Now a lot of people say, "Oh, that's horrible." Well, it's not. That's what he told me. I'm not making this up. And personally, I by no means try to minimize the attention that he shows me. But as I said, I feel hesitant to share it with people because I know it will either invoke jealousy in them or it will cause them to think that I've lost my mind. And then they start to dismiss anything that I say because they say it's just the ranting of some crazy woman. How dare she believe that God has chosen her to be his queen? Well, I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, Yahushua was born a man. He has to be a man in order to rule over this earth. Can he not choose to have a wife? I tell you, people need to be careful if they think that Yahushua is going to fit into their mold. He is not. And the angel told Mary, and who was Yahushua's mother, that she had found favor with God. Yahushua or the angel told me that I had found favor to be his queen. And yes, I feel very, very blessed. And I praise him for that because I realize there is nothing that I have done to be chosen. It was he who chose me. And he may think very differently than most of you. Now, I wrote a book about my experiences of being chosen. And that book is called Beyond Intimacy with Yahushua Jesus Christ. And I was as surprised as everyone else when Yahushua appeared to me and told me that I was chosen to be his wife. Because, see, I grew up in the Baptist church, and later I joined the Seventh-day Adventist church. And neither church taught this whole bride theology that we talk about today. In fact, I didn't even find out about the bride theology until 2012, and definitely didn't know that some woman or a woman would be chosen to be his queen until 2013 when Yahushua came to me himself and told me that I had been chosen. And so it definitely took me a while to try to get to understand what that meant. Now, because of that, I definitely know that I have not only been attacked by Christians, but I have been attacked by the Jewish community because they have taught a totally different theology and they don't want that to get out. So they have definitely tried to suppress my book and not allow the information to get out. But I will not spend energy arguing with them or anyone on a decision that Yahushua has made for himself. In time, I do know that all truth will be revealed. And at that time, those who have been chosen to rule with him will be revealed, and all liars will be put into their place. I will wait patiently on my king to set all into its place. However, I am still human and I do wrestle with jealousy issues from human women, and especially Caucasian women who constantly talk about Yahushua as their bridegroom. I love all my brothers and sisters, so please do not get me wrong. But I do feel jealousy when I hear them speak of Yahushua as their bridegroom. Now, it's okay if they talk about him as their father and as their savior. I have no problem with that. But I resent it when they speak of him as their husband or their bridegroom. That part where you switch over to the spiritual can be a little trying. But I'm working on it, and he is really being attentive to me and assuring me in this area. The great thing, this is his human side. But this is what I'm trying to say. Here's the great thing. Yahushua has very much a human side because I do know that sometimes he shows me that he is a bit jealous of me. And he has a way of letting me know that. And he really does have a sense of humor. So I know that part of our relationship, no one else shares. I love him. He is my husband. And I think he wants me to share these things with you, even though some of them may seem very personal. But I think that was one of the reasons that he wanted me to share. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you about two dreams. One that I had last night that he allowed me to remember. And the other one I had, as I said, on the Feast of Trumpets, which was September 21st. And I'm going to tell you about those dreams because I think they have some information that we need to know for what is coming up. Okay, these are the two dreams I want to talk about that I had last night. And as I said before, for the last 8 days, I have not been able to remember my dreams. And that was because Yahushua told me that I wasn't going to be able to, or showed me that I wasn't going to be able to remember my dreams for that time. Now, I'm sharing this because Yahushua has allowed me to remember it. And he has made it very plain to me that if he gives me a dream and he does not want me to share it, then he has the control where he will not allow me to remember it. So I think that was a gentle rebuke on his part, letting me know that if he gives me a dream and allows me to remember it, that means he wants me to share it because it's not only for me, it's for others as well. And so that's what I'm doing today. Plus, I'm including another dream that I had on the Feast of Trumpets, which I believe is very similar to the one that he gave me last night. And so I'm going to share both of those. And I've just kind of written those out, and I'm going to just read those two dreams. Okay. Now, this is the first dream, and I had this dream last night, which was October 12th. It was very early in the morning, October 12th, about 1, I think it was about 1 a.m. So this October 12th, 2017. Last night I had a very beautiful dream of what I believe was Yahushua, God the Father, and myself. The setting was in a room, and the room was dimly lit, and I got the feeling that it was on this earth somewhere. I saw a man-like figure standing who I perceived to be God the Father. He had a large sword in his hand. I then saw a man and a woman. The woman was dressed in a beautiful, full, ornate gown, and the man appeared to be in a military uniform of some sort. The man in the military uniform was kneeling on one knee in front of the man with the sword. The man with the sword touched the right shoulder of the man kneeling on one knee, almost like he was doing some kind of knighting ceremony. It was a ceremonial touch. Then the woman walked up and placed a cloak or some kind of robe on the man's shoulder, like you would place a cloak or a mantle on a king. The kneeling man then stood up and took the woman by the hand, and they quickly walked out of the door. Now, I remember seeing the woman's beautiful dress as it swayed to the side as she moved sideways out the door. It appeared that they were on earth at this time. Now, for some reason, I don't believe that this was in heaven. I believe that the man that was kneeling was Yahushua, and I believe the woman represented me. I am not sure exactly what else this means, other than Christ will have his bride with him very soon, and he will take his bride to his Father's house. Now, this dream, even though I had it this year, is very similar to a dream that I had last year with the same kind of thing. But the setting was different. In that dream, it was like the man and the woman put the cloak on the man. It appeared that was in heaven. And now it was almost obvious that that man was God the Father. So this seems to be the same vision that he's given me, but he's just kind of given me in a little bit of a different perspective. So I believe that the woman represents myself. I believe that the man who was kneeling was Yahushua, and he was dressed in a military-like uniform. Now, it wasn't anything like we saw, but it was like, like a military uniform. And I believe that God the Father was anointing him with the military power that he needs to go forth. So that's what that was dream. Now, the other dream that I had was September 21st, 2017, and I called this I named this dream Visit from Yahushua on the Feast of Trumpets. Okay? Now I'm just going to read it just the way I wrote it up. This morning when I woke up, I had a closed-eyed vision. I saw an open door with light streaming through it. I have seen this open door almost every night for the past 2 weeks. Many times I would see other things, but I would always see a man and a woman go through the door. And to be truthful with you, it looked like dead bodies were left on the floor. And I never understood it, but I would see this repeatedly over and over again. And I would pray that the Lord would give me understanding on what this meant. Well, this morning, it was different. I saw an open door, and I saw the silhouette of a man in the door. Then a mass of energy, powerful energy, appeared right before me and just stayed there. It was pulsating and moving, and I could not make out any specific form. I felt it just wanted me to know that it was there. Yet I felt he was very serious, as if he was there for a purpose. Nothing was said, but I felt a deep sense of love in his presence. I felt as if he embraced me with his love, as if he was going away to battle. For some reason, I felt like he was going away to war. The energy then disappeared after about 10 seconds or so, and I thought to myself, surely that was a visitation from Yahushua that occurred on the Feast of Trumpets. And so, for some reason, both of these are related to war or military or something. And I believe that Yahushua is getting ready to do something. I'm not sure, but I wanted to share these dreams with you because even though the one concerning, let me make sure I got everything. Yeah. Even though the one concerning him appearing to me with the open door, I did share that one, but I didn't share the fact that he stood in front of me with pulsating energy. I didn't. And I didn't share the one concerning him being anointed as if he's going to war with the sword. So I definitely wanted to share those with you. So brothers and sisters, I hope you enjoyed this. Please, if you have any questions about anything that I've included in these dreams, please feel free to ask me the questions. I'm presenting this because I want to share information with you to help you know what the Most High is sharing with me, because I know that everything that he gives me is not just for me, it's to be shared, and I do want to share it, and I don't want to cause any problems with anybody, but I do want to share what he's sharing with me. So until next time, shalom, and thank you so very much for listening to this video.